Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Real Estate Roundtable presented by Angie Goulet and Associates. We're a real estate team located in the Windsor-Essex County area with RE/MAX Preferred Realty. In this week's episode, we'll be discussing downsizing. My name is Steve Blaze, Team General Manager, and I'd like to welcome two other realtors, Trista Anderson and Julie Sylvester. Thanks for joining, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
And just a reminder to everyone before we get started today that we are giving away an iPad mini, and the draw will be on March 4th after our episode airs. So head over to the Angie Goulet and Associates page and make sure to like and share our episode. Each episode that you like and share will be one entry into the draw. So good luck to everyone. Okay, so today we're talking about downsizing, and 2020 and so far in 2021, the market has been anything but normal. Is this a good market to be downsizing in? Any thoughts, ladies?
Well, I think downsizing means something different to everybody, right? So it could mean actual space that you're downsizing. It could mean that you're just downsizing to put money in the bank. It means something different. So if we're just talking about a lateral move, like nice house to nice house, just smaller, maybe. But if you're talking about selling a larger home, and then if you're an older person and possibly going into something like a condo living, it's definitely a great time to cash out.
Yeah,
I agree. I think there's a lot of people looking for those single family homes right now, and there's a lack of inventory of those on the market. So it definitely makes it a great time to list your house and sell and move to something like a condo or a townhouse where you're not really competing with 10, 15 other people to get into something.
Right. Well, if you're downsizing because of age, then that makes much more sense, right? Like you're losing all the yard work. You're losing all the, so I should be moving into a condo.
Yeah, and as a seller right now, you're certainly in much more control, aren't you, of your current home? There's so many buyers looking for what you have that you're in a lot of control over, like the closing date and so on, and you can, make sure that you're not homeless and that sort of thing. So it's certainly a good time to be a seller. I guess why in general are people downsizing? Like you said, it's not always about money, or there's a lot of reasons why we would. Thoughts on that?
Jules?
Yeah, I like Trista was saying, I think there is a lot of reasons, and it depends kind of what your situation is. It could be because of age. It could be because maybe you're relying on family to help you at your house and you don't want to burden them anymore. Or a lot of people are going to Florida, maybe not right now, but a lot of people go away for 3 or 4 months, and to have something where you don't have to worry about leaving your house or upkeep while you're gone. So I think there's just lots of different reasons why people might downsize.
I think when we entered into this pandemic, like even the garbage companies let us put out extra garbage. Like I think we just have so much stuff, right? And we've been sitting in our own stuff for a year now. So just getting rid of that and opening up space. Do you know what I mean? Like it might not always be about age or even the yard. Like it may just be a simpler life that you're looking for. Again, if you're selling a larger house and looking to bank some money, now is definitely the time. I'm finding though, if you're thinking that you're going to sell your large house and then find something for $250, no, they're not even there right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of people during the pandemic took this time to sort through stuff and get rid of things and minimize, I think was something a lot of people did.
I don't know. I had so many Amazon packages that I'm not 100% sure that I did that, but I should have done that, right?
I didn't say we did.
Well, I mean, the homes.com did a survey, and 69% of respondents said that they wanted to downsize to save money. Like, so that was by far the biggest reason. But then runner up was just the space was too big. They just didn't need all of that extra space.
Yeah. Well, my kids are gone. So I certainly don't need the space that I had when they were younger. And I wouldn't even want that house. I'd take the beach back in a minute, but not the house.
For sure.
So it's just as you progress, right? What is important to you? Like traveling is much more important to me now that I have time to do it. Not that I can right this second, but than it was. So it's a lifestyle choice. So what do you think the first steps, like the questions to ask yourself if you're ready to downsize? Because I do know that my mom did this one time and she did it too early and she regretted it. So
the first thing, the most important thing is your financial situation. Is it going to make things better for you or worse?
Yeah.
I think is most important. And then are you okay moving away from all the things that you're comfortable with, your friends, your family, your community? Are you going to be okay with that? Or is it going to make you regret your decision perhaps when you get to that spot?
Yeah.
So true. We tend to think of downsizing, I guess, as more something seniors would do, right? But today, are we really seeing just seniors downsizing? I think it's a lot more widespread across all different demographics.
Right. Well, the cost of living is so high. Rent is so high. That now we're getting tiny houses. We're allowed to put a second living space on any property now, right? So you can actually go get a tiny home. My daughter jokes that she's going to put one in her backyard that I can live in. No, thank you. But it is like you can get these things for. I saw one on Facebook. It's a used one,
right? But
they're selling it for like $40,000.
Wow.
Yeah, and you just literally put it in your backyard. So that's a great way because not people have lost jobs. Kids aren't, in graduating school and getting the high paying job that they thought they might. Teenagers, young adults are at home a lot longer than they were previously. So downsizing might not necessarily mean moving. It might mean putting something additional in your backyard for income or so that you get your son off your couch.
Good point. I think a lot of the people that I've been working with, they find that they're younger, young professionals. They're just finding they don't have the time. They're working a lot of hours and they just don't get the use out of a yard or anything like that. So that's been a big driver as well.
Yeah, I think it depends what you want. Do you want a big yard? Do you want to have all that grass to cut and spend your time doing that? Might not be for everybody.
For sure. What are some of the disadvantages if we were going to talk about why wouldn't you downsize? So for example, I guess for people, we just talked about stuff. If we have a lot of stuff and you don't want to part with it because it can be tough, where do you put it, right? That's a tough one there. Having to get rid of things is certainly a challenge for people. Any other thoughts about disadvantages?
Yeah, I think in some cases it's financially a lateral move. Like I'm so sorry. My dog is just really stop right now. It's because if you're selling a house, like clients in Bell River sold their house for a certain amount, wanting to downsize, and then their purchase was only slightly lower than what they sold their larger home for. Much better area, like more central, more popular, but you're not necessarily saving money. So it depends on what you want. And then if you're going into a condo from a house, you have to understand that, maybe you sold your house for $5 and you bought this condo for $3, but now you have this added condo fee that you didn't have before. So your monthly expenses could really just be the same or a little bit more. Some of the condo fees are quite high.
Agreed.
Yeah. So you just you need to talk to an expert. You need to have someone guiding you through this rather than just making a split-second decision here.
For sure. Julie, any thoughts?
Like I was saying, you might be leaving family and friends that are close by and things that you're comfortable with. And the other, now you're going from so much space to little space. Maybe it might be too little of a space kind of thing. You might feel like you're stuck somewhere that you don't want to be. You can't just go outside if you're in a condo. Maybe you don't have a balcony or something like that. So I think it could be a big change. And I don't know, it's just something you have to think about. Is that what you want? Is that what you truly want? Or
For sure. I mean, if you're used to having those family gatherings, right? Christmas and other events where you have family over and you used to be that hub for everyone and you had the space to have the dinners and so on. And now you're moving into something smaller and you kind of lost that central gathering place for the family. That can be a little bit difficult to get used to as well for everyone, right? Not just the person moving. So, but there's also a lot of advantages to downsizing, right? In certain cases, there'll be increased cash flow for sure, which is a big, like we said, the big reason why people move. But also, you've got efficient homes that you can possibly move into something a little more efficient. And because there's less space, you've got lower utility costs. So that's increasing your cash flow as well.
Yeah, and then also, if you're older, it could extend the amount of time that you can live on your own.
Mm-hmm.
So you may not be able to take care of this house into your, 90s, late 80s, but you could certainly live on your own in a condo or a small house. Do you know what I mean? Like not navigating stairs, stuff like that is when it gets to physical safety. So that's a big draw. Because not people just don't want to go to retirement homes right now.
Especially right now, right?
Right. Yeah. And I don't blame them.
Definitely. I think another thing is time. Like we all want more time. And if you downsize, you create more time for things that you want to do, travel, be with friends, family, grandkids, whatever it might be. You definitely have that option to do those things without having to worry about all the upkeep of a home.
Mm-hmm.
Right. How many bathrooms do you need to clean, mowing the lawn, all that stuff? No, for sure. And just less stuff in general. Right, to clean around. And now another thing I guess to mention is if you were moving to a condo, some of those amenities are really great. So it's something that maybe you could, you might be getting a gym in your building or a pool that you've wanted. It's a good way to get those things.
We have a couple building. Well, we have a building that the pool is on the top level. The view is gorgeous off Riverside Drive.
Nice.
Then I think even the 5th level of Victoria Park Place has the pool, right? And that's a nice space. They have nice outdoor space. So, there's lots of things, and you don't have to take care of that.
Exactly.
Other people do that.
That's right.
Just enjoy it.
Absolutely. But one of the options that a lot of people have been looking at and have been, especially with us with our Lakeland development, Oakwood Trails, is townhomes. It's such a great balance in between.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're moving already,
right,
completely done, brand new, gorgeous. And those sold. I think those sold much quicker than we thought that they would. Like those went.
Yeah, I would have bought a bunch had I known it would have gone where. Yeah, certainly regretting that.
And a great investment too. Maybe you don't want to downsize just yet, and it's something you can buy as an investment. So in the future, you have something to go to.
Mm-hmm.
You can rent it out, make some cash flow, and later on you're all set to move in yourself.
Absolutely. And of course they're freehold, right? So we talked about the condo fee for condos, but because these are freehold, you don't have that expensive condo fee every month. If you do have a homeowners association, the fee's generally pretty low, and it's really just for taking care of your lawn and your snow removal, which is kind of the point anyway.
Right. And they even have the sprinkler system all done, like cement, and then everything's done. Yeah.
You're not out watering the lawn and so on. So, and I remember when townhomes kind of first came out, a lot of them were raised ranches. They were small, remember, like 1,100 square foot raised ranches, and laundry was still in the basement. They just weren't really suitable. Like, yes, you were into an attached building, but it often wasn't that much smaller, but you still had to deal with the stairs and everything. But now it's all on one floor, right? I mean, you've got a basement, but your laundry's on the main floor and your living space. So they're fairly accessible.
And there are quite a few new buildings popping up, like condo buildings coming up now.
There's a lot.
And for years, nothing. Like there was nothing new, right?
That's right.
So now I drove through Essex and it's like the amount of construction there, new apartment building. Yeah. Like, and it looks nice. So.
No, absolutely.
Mhm.
So I think that's about all we have to chat about today. Do you guys have any closing thoughts about downsizing recommendations or personal thoughts?
I think the biggest thing is just to have a conversation with a professional first to go over all your options and what your thoughts are and what might be the best thing for you in this time. And it's probably the best way to start.
Yeah. And I also think that maybe the thought of downsizing and cashing out of the great big property, it's a fantastic time to do it. But you may also want to do a transitional property before you go to the final. Do you know what I mean? Like maybe going from the big house into a larger townhouse, then to a condo. Like you might not want to do it all at one step. And it depends on what downsizing means to you.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
For less expense.
That's right. And I know that I'd have a hard time getting rid of like the garage. And that's the big thing. Like, would I go to a condo? Because sure, you might have underground parking, but I need to tinker. I need to have that something to do in the garage. And, or it just having that back deck to barbecue outside, because there's certain condo buildings where you can't have the barbecue, right? And if you enjoy that, it'd be definitely a big change for you to have to give that up.
Yeah. But a lot of them, like Edith Cavell, they have communal barbecues and stuff too.
Exactly. Yeah, especially some of those nice rooftop patios, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I guess there's the other option of friendships, just meeting new people, especially if you're in a building or you're in higher density living compared to, big, even rural properties, maybe. It's just a great opportunity to meet other people and like-minded people. So, well, thanks very much, ladies, for joining me today and having a chat about this. And if anybody has any other questions, you reach out to any of us anytime. We'd be happy to chat with you about it.
Yeah.
So, again, thank you so much, everyone. And we will talk to you next week when we go over the real estate board stats for February 2021. Anxious to see what those numbers look like. So you're not.
Right there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting for sure. So again, thank you so much. And everyone have a wonderful day. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. See ya.